Wing Commander Frederick Taffy Higginson, OBE, DFC, DFM, was born in Gorseinon, Swansea on the 17th of February 1913. He was a fighter ace of the Royal Air Force during the Second World War. In fact, Taffy Higginson became a fighter ace within the first 6 months of the war, with a tally of 15 victories. Higginson was the son of a policeman, born into a Welsh language-speaking family in Gorseinon, Swansea. He was educated at Gowerton Grammar School, and after leaving school, he joined the RAF as an apprentice in 1929, aged 16. In 1932, he was posted as a fitter air gunner to No. 7 Bomber Squadron. Accepted for pilot training in 1935, and on completion of training, he joined the Gloucester Gauntlet-equipped No. 19 Squadron of the RAF the following year, and then quickly moved to sea flight to form No. 66 Squadron RAF. He was selected to play rugby for the RAF in 1936, and in 1937 he moved to the Gloucester Gladiator-equipped No. 56 Squadron RAF, which was then re-equipped with a brand new Hawker Hurricane monoplane fighter. In 1940 he was promoted to flight sergeant and sent to Dunkirk, France with B Flight. He scored his first victories on the 17th of May, downing a Dornier 17 of KG 76 near Douai, and also a Heinkel treble 1 of KG 54 near Cambrai. After recording 4 victories in France, he returned to England and was awarded the Distinguished Flying Medal on the 27th of July 1940 during the Battle of Britain. Having already destroyed at least 5 enemy aircraft, his citation cited, "Despite being an airman pilot, he led a section of 56 Squadron during all operations. His determination in the face of the enemy and his cool and courageous leadership being an example to his squadron." Between the 12th of August and the 30th of September, he accounted for a further 9 enemy aircraft being destroyed or damaged, reaching a total of at least 15 victories. On the 16th of August, after sustaining damage from return fire from a Dornier DO-17 that he had in fact critically damaged, he crash-landed his Hurricane Mark I near Whitstable. On the 18th of August 1940, his Hurricane was again damaged in combat off the Essex coast. One of his victories during this period was the Bf 109 of Hans Mellengrau over the Thames estuary. Higginson recalled the fight 60 years later when the pair met up at a Battle of Britain memorial event. He said that he saw a Messerschmitt coming towards him, and suddenly the 2 pilots were face to face. After he hit his Hurricane's engine with incendiary bullets, he shot him down and he crash-landed in a field. By this time, his incendiaries had set Higgins' engine on fire, and he actually crash-landed his plane alongside him. Now, on the 17th of June 1941, he was part of the close escort for No. 2 Group light bombers raiding Lille, and here Higginson was shot down. The cause was never established, whether it be anti-aircraft fire or enemy fighters, although Bf 109s of JG 26 claimed 11 Hurricanes of both No. 56 and No. 242 squadrons. In reality, 7 were actually lost. In the resultant explosion, Higginson's control column snapped at the base, his left boot was torn off, and his trousers were shredded. He landed in a wood, where he was quickly rounded up by a German officer and sergeant who arrived on a motorcycle and sidecar combination. He was placed in the sidecar, but while his captors were distracted by a low-flying Messerschmitt 109, Higginson managed to crash the motorcycle and sidecar into a ditch and ran off. That night he hid in a wood, and then made his way to an occupied hut, where he gained clothes and some cash from the owner. After more adventures, he then hitched a lift with a lorry driver and was taken to a local garage whose owner had contacts with an escape line for Allied airmen. Higginson was introduced to British Army Captain Harold Paul Cole, a fellow survivor of the Battle of Dunkirk and local coordinator of the underground escape route. Cole took him to local priest Abbé Carpentier in Abbeville, who provided Higginson with false identity papers. Higginson then travelled to Paris, where he lodged in a brothel until July 1941. To allow Higginson to exit via Vichy, France to Spain, Cole escorted him on a train journey via Tours and Saint-Martin-le-Beau. When at the station, they were questioned by German officers. Not convinced by the story that Higginson was an idiot seeking work, on searching his valise, they were unable to find further evidence as its contents were smothered by chocolate, which had melted in the summer heat. They also failed to find the pistol and British passports in Cole's luggage, as it was wrapped in dirty laundry. Cole left Higginson at the Marseille home of a Greek doctor who lived with his wife, and they operated a safe house for Pat O'Leary's MI9 section. After Cole returned to northern France, the doctor told Higginson that he had discovered that Cole was not in fact a British Army captain, but a sergeant who had absconded with mess funds. Later, having been captured by the Germans, Cole informed on Father Carpentier, who was subsequently executed. Higginson was impatient at being out of action and caught a train to Perpignan, where, with an Australian army corporal, they persuaded a Catalan to guide them to Spain. They were stopped by gendarmes and found to have false papers. Higginson struck one of them and was imprisoned for 6 months. He was retained in reprisal for a further period after a 5th of March 1942 RAF raid on the Renault factory at Boulogne-Billancourt. He was placed in Fort de la Riviere above Monte Carlo. On the 17th of March, he decided to assume the name Captain Bennett, as he believed the Germans disliked airmen. With the RAF short of experienced pilots, MI9 urged O'Leary to get a group of pilots, including Higginson, back to Britain under the Special Operation Executives Operation Titania. They used Polish priest Father Mydra as a go-between, and O'Leary smuggled a hacksaw blade into the prison. On the night of the 6th of August, during a noisy inmate-contrived concert in the fort's courtyard, Higginson and 4 other pilots escaped through a coal chute and out of the fort via an operational sewer. Reaching Cap Dale without his supplied ID card, Higginson reached the Scottish Tea House in Monte Carlo, a safe house that was run by the spinster Eva Trenchard. Disguised as priests and accompanied by Father Mydra, the group reached Marseille. They were now accompanied by the French underground operatives to Canet-Plage, 11 kilometres due east of Perpignan. This was chosen because the 2 safe houses, the Hotel du Tennis and Villa Anitawas, could accommodate the 25-man group of agents and pilots. On the 17th of September, the group were picked up from the beach by a dinghy from the Q ship Tirana, a Polish fishing trawler also called the Seawolf, and then transferred to the Special Operations Executive Fast Patrol Boat HMS Minna, which took Higginson to a base in Gibraltar, from where he was flown home to RAF Greenock on the 5th of October 1942. To enable him to return to No. 56 Squadron, Higginson retrained on the Hawker Typhoon before being attached to Napier and Son, resolving production issues on the Napier Sabre engine that was installed on the Hawker Typhoon. He was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross in July 1943. In mid-1944, He was posted to 83 Group Communications Squadron until 1946, when he was then posted to number 11 Group RAF Headquarters Fighter Command at RAF Bentley Priory. He was sent to the RAF Staff College, Bracknell, in 1948, and on graduation was appointed Personal Staff Officer to the Air Officer Commanding-in-Chief, RAF Training Command. In 1951, he joined the staff of the Army Staff College, Camberley. In 1952, he was promoted to the rank of Wing Commander, and he served on the Operational Requirements Staff, also taking a helicopter course. In 1956, Higginson resigned from the RAF to join the newly demerged Bristol Aircraft Limited, based in London, as its military liaison officer. He played rugby for London, Welsh, Richmond and Surrey until he was 40. Appointed Sales and Service Director of the Guided Missiles Division, he was responsible for export sales of the newly developed ground-to-air missile defence system, Bloodhound. In 1963, he joined the board of Bristol Aircraft when in the New Year's Honour List of 1964, he was appointed as an Officer of the Order of the British Empire for services to industry. Having met Kuwaiti businessman Abdullah Ali Reza in 1964, he left Bristol Aircraft to launch Rizayat Services London office, building a substantial business for the Kuwaitis' European company. After retiring in 1969, he bought Pennacoid, a 250-acre farm estate with a large 17th century house in Carmarthenshire. He lived there with his wife Jenny Shan Jenkins, whom he married in 1937 and had 4 sons. His wife passed away in August 2002, and Wing Commander Higginson passed away on the 12th of February 2003. He was remembered at his old school in Swansea with the unveiling of a plaque in November 2010.